I'm just wondering, when you got to the start line at Hellbender, did you think that you're just not prepared for this? You knew this is going to be freaking hell.
Oh, yeah, we knew. Yeah, that's the closest we ever came to dropping out of a race. We sat at an aid station for a while. We were out there for over 37 hours.
Wow.
That was
Oh, my gosh.
I think it's the first time I hallucinated, so it was kind of...
What did you see? Hello.
Oh, you're back. Wow.
I'm back, baby.
What's going on?
Busy week.
In what way?
We are in the north, La Belle Provence in Quebec, La Mauricie, which I learned some things about this week when I was creating the email for our participants. It's a year-round park with ice climbing.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's new. Haven't come across that yet. But, you know, Quebecers really do
a lot
in the winter. They embrace the winter.
Adventurous, yes.
Unlike us weak Southern Ontario dwellers.
We hibernate.
Who hibernate all winter long.
Yes.
And I did the first mailing for the Monarch Virtual.
Cool.
Yeah, so everybody out there who's signed up, you're getting this beautiful medal. Mm-hmm. Double-sided. You're getting a neck gaiter. You're getting a bib. They all match. And we're encouraging everyone to post their results on Race Roster so that we can watch the progression, just like the Monarchs, who migrate 4,300 kilometers from Mexico to Canada.
Cool.
Yeah.
And we're looking for 430 runners.
430 runners, walkers, hikers,
bikers,
or cyclists to do 10K each.
To represent the Monarch.
And you can be from anywhere in North America.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it could be anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And who's coming up with the podcast today?
Today we have Derek Mulhall from Tecumseh, Ontario. And he was another one of our lucky Canadians who was granted the lottery in 2020, but alas, he's deferred to 2022.
Right, and he's been trying for 6 years. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And his interesting ticket races.
That's right.
I can't wait to hear about his ventures.
All right, let's get to it.
Coming up.
Welcome to the podcast, Derek Mulhall from Tecumseh, Ontario.
Yes. Born in Bell River, but we moved to Tecumseh, so not just down the road.
Okay.
But 20 minutes out of Windsor.
Ah, to Windsor,
Just,
okay.
Detroit's right across the border.
And what are you drinking today?
I've got a Frank Simple Man Oatmeal Stout.
Oh,
Nice.
Very nice.
That glass is going to be finished by the time this podcast is done.
I need it for my nerves.
We came across your name in the Lucky Canadians who got into Western States in lottery in 2019. That's how we came across your name. And I tell you, you're not easy to find.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Tony sent me a Facebook messenger and asked me to get in contact with you guys.
That's right.
Thanks for doing that. Well, we want to know about your whole running journey and all your ticket races to Western States. But first, how did you get into running?
Honestly, I'm surprised I got into running with the way things went in grade school and joining the cross-country team because they didn't have enough people and it was the only team I made. And getting lapped in my first 1,500-meter race where I couldn't even complete the full distance without walking. And then, to go from there to running 100 miles, it just seems like such a long time ago. But
I can relate
to
high
that. School and I didn't run, but I took up running more seriously probably 2006, 2007. I always had the thought of doing a marathon. I had no idea what it was about, what the training was about. I just knew each run you had to run a little bit longer and you need to do at least one or two 20-milers before the race. So I just kind of worked up to my first marathon in 2008 and kind of got hooked from there.
So was your first race a marathon?
Yes.
Wow.
I love it.
That's the way to do it.
Go big or go home, I guess. And
Well, that tells me you already have an ultra mind.
That's right.
yeah, I don't know what happened. Like I knew my dad had a buddy who ran marathons, and it just sounded kind of interesting. But like I said, I had no idea what had to go into it. No goal time. I just knew I wanted to finish under 4 hours, because any longer than that, it just seemed like I didn't want to be out there any longer. But
And did you?
yeah, by about 3.5 minutes. So
Oh, very
it
good.
was a success.
And how quickly after that finish line did you decide you were going to do another one?
Probably took a few weeks, because the next morning getting out of bed, I think I ended up on the floor. It's amazing how much more painful marathons are than ultras.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's true, isn't it?
Intensity you put on your body. But
Doing our research, we came across the fact that you did Boston during the year of the bombing. Is that right?
yes, that was the first year I got in. Well, actually, I was supposed to go 2014, but that year they didn't sell out. So they gave the people that had qualified for the following year an opportunity to get in.
Mm-hmm.
And a good portion of our running group was going, so I figured it was a great opportunity to go. It was kind of surreal, because I had no idea what was going on. I finished the race. We kind of went to meet where we were supposed to meet at. One of my buddies hadn't finished yet, so I started walking back to the finish line. I heard a bang and sirens and stuff. I just thought it was Boston, big city noises.
Yeah.
Grow up in a town of 3,000-4,000 people. You're not used to the big cities. So finally made my way back to the hotel, got in the lobby, and saw a bunch of people crying and still trying to figure out what's going on. I'm like, I know Boston's a big deal, but it didn't seem to be that emotional.
Right.
But it wasn't until I started making my way to the room and I looked inside the bar and saw all the coverage on TV and floored there. And it was kind of crazy. And our hotel was kind of outside of where all the police and stuff were meeting up. So it was pretty surreal to look out the room window and just see the streets deserted and cars and stuff everywhere. It was very, very sad.
Yeah.
So I was happy to go back in 2014 and do it again. And it's quite a crazy feeling.
Create a different
That
memory.
was my last Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I might try it one more time, just because that first one, I heard Dean Carnazzi talk about doing the Boston double, running to the start line and then running the race. So I'm like, I got to try that once. So hopefully that'll happen in the next few years.
Yes. So when did you make the switch into ultra running?
Actually, it was just before the Boston Marathon. Same group of people I was running with were doing a trail race in Pinckney, Michigan, just across the border in Hell, Michigan. And then one of the guys that we run with was the only person I knew doing ultras at the time, was doing what they called the No Whims Challenge, which was a half marathon trail on the Saturday, then 50K on the Sunday. I figured that sounded like a good idea. So we did the half K on the Saturday, slept right around the corner, came back the next day and did my first 50K, and everything went pretty well, surprisingly. And then the next year, I think it was 2014, my buddy Casey decided to do the 100-miler in Ohio called Burning River. So he kind of talked me into that. That was my first shot at 100 miles, which at the time seemed pretty crazy. He had the plan of run a mile, walk a quarter, and in my head, I thought that was crazy. It would never work. We're 45 miles in and probably about 140th place, but by the end of the race, we finished tied for 20th. So it ended up working out pretty well. I was surprised.
When did you first hear about Western States then?
Right around that same time, because he was talking about it, then he shared the video Unbreakable with me, which kind of sold me on the idea of wanting to go there, and just the sights and seeing those guys go through the trails was pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. But after that race, I was kind of worried about getting in the next year, and I didn't have the training, the time, or the money to go to California. So after that first 100-miler, I didn't put my name in the lottery right away.
Oh, so that first...
Not that I was that lucky, would have been that lucky, but I didn't want to take that chance either.
So that first 100 miler you did was a ticket race, but you didn't put your ticket in.
Right.
Wow.
Out of fear, I would have got selected because I wasn't ready yet.
But looking back on that, as we'll find out, perhaps it might have been a good idea to do that.
Yes.
But I'm sure a lot of people actually don't submit their first ticket if it's sort of just on their radar, right? Like they'll play around with it and see.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
So what was your first ticket race? Now that Western States is going to be your target, what was your journey getting there? What was your first ticket race?
Next year, we went out to Indiana, did the Indiana Trail 100, which was at the end of April, run by Mike Peppercorn, which is a fantastic race director. I know he's no longer doing it, but the people at that race were just unbelievable support they had. Which the race went pretty well, but it rained probably 80% of it. A lot of it was rolling grass hill, so it just turned into a mudslide. So my same buddy who talked to me the first one was there doing this with me also. So him, myself, and our two pacers, we were doing a lot of arm in arm going up and down these hills because otherwise you were going down in a heap, grabbing trees to pull yourself up. It was pretty pretty intense.
Now, was that same friend, was he trying to get into Western as well?
Yes.
Okay.
He still hasn't got it.
Oh.
I feel kind of guilty getting picked before him, but he's pretty excited to come and pace.
Well, at least he gets the pacing duties.
And crew with us. So
that's a big, advantage when you get to see the course ahead of time, for sure.
Yeah, and then hopefully I can return the favor in the next year or two. So.
What is the next race after that?
So that would be, the next ticketed race would have been Tunnel Hill 100.
Oh, Tunnel Hill. Not
Indiana.
Mohican? Not Mohican?
Oh, sorry. No, Mohican. Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm kind of messed up here. Yeah, Mohican I did the first time. That was my third ticket race.
Now that's a little bit more. That was my first.
I think that was 13 to 14,000.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of June, I believe it was pretty humid. You get into that forest and it gets hot. That was kind of the first taste I had of sleep running and sleep deprivation. Taking naps on the side of the trail, just trying to figure out how to get it finished. So.
Do you guys always stay together, you and your friends, or do you say, okay, this is a race, it's every man for himself?
First Mohican, we started off, there was 4 of us. About halfway through, 2 of the other guys kind of dropped off and ended up dropping out. So at that point, Casey and I felt good. So we're like, we're going to push it. We were passing people like crazy, and then the wheels came off. So you learn the lesson. Like, even though you feel good late in, well, it wasn't that late in the racing, you're around 60 miles, you still need to be conservative and try and stay on your target time as opposed to pushing through and seeing what you can do. But you learn something new every race.
You sure do.
Every run. So,
so you and Casey, you stayed together then?
Yeah.
You stayed together?
Yes. Yeah, everyone I've done with Casey, we've stayed together. And then he started getting into some of the longer stuff with Vol State, so I've stayed away from that right now.
So did you think the third time was going to be a charm at this point?
I figured I was getting close, so that would have given me, 1, 2, 4 tickets.
Oh, second time,
but
right.
Still nothing.
Did you watch the lottery that year?
Same as the year before. I just kind of checked in, hoping I'd see my name pulled before, watched the end of it, and left disappointed again. And then trying to figure out what are we going to do next to get a ticket next year, which I think at that point ended up being the Georgia Death Race was the next one.
Now that's a tough one.
Oh yeah, that's probably the hardest ultra I've done. You run the trails right with Cruel Jewel. I think they share a lot of the same nasty terrain and endless false summits where You think you're going to get to the top, and you just never quite make it.
Norm's first comment when he got home from that race is he never saw the sky. He just was constantly in the forest going up a rolly and down a rolly and up a rolly and down. He didn't see any terrain.
No, just trees.
Oh, yeah. And then you got to watch a trail because it's so rooted and rocked and not maintained at all.
And that's also a spring.
And the race director was nice enough. You're from about 10 feet from the finish line. They have the bridge blocked off. You got to go through this cold creek to get your railroad tie at the end. They didn't have medals.
Oh, that's cool.
And that was probably the coldest I've ever been, but made it through there. And then he said, waiting for the lottery again. But actually, we did. Tunnel Hill ended up being a qualifier for the next year. So that was at the end of that year, but it was the. So we ran that one just in case we weren't going to get in.
Right.
Oh, cool.
Right.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah, because
it worked.
Yeah.
Now, what was
that was an interesting course, flat rail trail.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Tunnel Hill was a flat rail trail, and that's the year Camille Herron was there and set the trail world record.
Oh, wow.
I remember seeing her pass a few times. We thought she was doing the 50-miler because she was just flying. And come to find out, she run somewhere 12-hour 100-milers, like crazy. I think 12:42 or something that year.
Wow. And how many loops was the rail trail?
2 out and backs.
Sorry, 2?
So the finish line was kind of in the middle. So you go about 25 miles out the one way, you come back, and then you go 25 out the other way and come back.
And now Hellbender, that name alone scares the crap out of me. This is
that was a pretty nasty race.
This is definitely climbing in this one then, right? Hellbender?
Yeah, I think it had about 22,000 feet of gain.
Okay, so now,
like I said, training on a 100-foot hill makes it difficult.
So mentally,
the first time I got to see 2 sunrises.
There we go.
Yeah, that's what I want to ask you about that. Halfway through, mentally, you must be thinking, this is just never going to end.
Yeah, that's the closest we ever came to dropping out of a race. We sat at an aid station for a while, doing the math in our head and saying, we're never going to make this 40 hours. But good thing they had some experienced volunteers there and just told us, sit back, here, eat this, think about what you're doing, and then let me know in 10 minutes. And our buddy, I don't know if he knew it at the time, but convinced us that, your car's at the next aid station. So let's just run there, see where you're at. If you want to drop out, we'll drop out there. And we ended up getting our legs back and feeling better. So we no longer started fighting the cutoff, but
it's amazing
what 10 or 15 minutes will do.
That's right.
Yeah, or that one there, I think we ended up napping twice because we were out there for over 37 hours.
Wow.
That was
oh my gosh.
I think it's the first time I hallucinated, so it was kind of
What did you see?
Interesting.
What did you see?
It's kind of crazy. Both of us saw the same thing. We thought was a little old lady sitting in a green lawn chair along the side of the road, and when you get there, there was nothing there. Like,
are you serious?
Did you see that? Yeah, it's maybe it did happen. She just disappeared, but yeah, it was pretty nuts for us to see the same thing.
See the same thing, exactly.
Yeah, you're in sync.
That's the same thing what happened to my pacer and I. We both saw the same thing, so we had to confirm, was it actually there or not? I'm just wondering, when you got to the start line at Hellbender, did you think that you're just not prepared for this? You knew this is going to be freaking hell.
Oh yeah, we knew. But we were prepared to take our time, go slow, but just had no idea, like the sleep deprivation and the climbs, and crazy to think Carl Meltzer finished 15 hours ahead of us. Kind of puts into perspective how good those guys are. That was a beautiful race. I think it was the first year they were putting it on. We were a little nervous about how it would go off, but it went well. The volunteers were great, and the views from some of the mountains were unbelievable.
Yeah, I can imagine. Wow. All right. So what month was that one, Derek? Hellbender?
That was the end of April also.
Ah, okay. You like those spring
April
races.
20th, that was 2018.
So now you're
Another one you finished, and I'm never doing a hard race again.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that during this race, when you're getting completely destroyed, are you thinking, what am I doing?
I said, I got to stop listening to you, Casey. This is getting crazy.
So, but you stuck together again, eh?
Oh, for sure.
That's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
we both got it done, so.
Yeah.
Cool.
So now you're leading up again to the lottery. And now this is year 4?
5?
Oh, yeah, that would have been 5, wouldn't it?
Yep.
5. So now you're thinking,
And
okay,
at that
my
point,
odds are so much better this year. This is going to be it.
yeah, you just sit back and same thing. Hope to get your name called again, and depressingly not again. So back to the drawing board. What am I going to do next year to get a ticket?
Do you and your friends always get together on lottery day?
No, it just doesn't seem to work out, unfortunately.
And for you, you went back to Mohican, which is still a considerable race.
Right. But it's less than 3 hours away, so I just wanted to look for, he said, another kind of early mid-year ticketed race to go try my hand at getting another spot in the lottery. So this one I ended up doing solo, but my buddies went down to crew me, which
Okay.
helped out a lot.
Yeah. And what was the experience like compared to the previous time?
Yeah. Now that you know this race.
It was pretty similar with the heat and the climbing. This time, though, we got some rain on the last loop. But I think this one ended up going about 9 to 10 hours faster, so I was able to get that done a lot quicker.
Wow.
Kind of trying to find that fine line between sleep deprivation and getting it done.
That's a huge difference.
That's a
Wow.
huge difference. Yeah, exactly.
You're getting a lot of experience on the way now with Hellbender and Tunnel Hill. You're getting some experience.
As I get older, I'm getting faster.
Are you one of those people that has your sights on Barkley, or is that just a little bit too crazy?
I wouldn't mind trying it. I've done the Barkley Fall Classic 3 times,
Right.
which every year I say I'm not going to go back because it's such a nasty race, but then we go back the next year. So it's amazing what those guys do on that course, because those trails are unbelievable. I couldn't imagine some of the off-trail stuff they do.
Right.
Like, I think the first year we did it, Ratchaw, which is about a mile long, took us an hour 45 just to get up that cutout. So we're doing almost half a mile an hour
Oh my
through these thick
gosh.
briars. Telling yourself, I'm never going to do this again.
So what is it that brought you back over and over again?
Probably the lure of Barkley,
Hmm.
Laz Lake, and just the Yellow Gate, and the whole, mystery of everything, and Casey.
And Casey. Darn that Casey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get on this podcast too. We'll give him hell.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Hopefully
now,
he'll get it next year and you can talk to him.
yeah.
There you go.
So you do finally get your name pulled. What were you thinking? What was your reaction? Tell us about that day.
That's kind of crazy. It's probably the first time I didn't watch the lottery. I don't know if we had a group run going on, and just like tired of being glued to the TV. And I got home and happened to see some notifications on my phone. I opened up Facebook. Congratulations, Derek, you got into Western. And so I think a lot of people knew before I even had a clue that I got in. And at that point, it still seems surreal. It's like, I better check my bank account, see if the money actually came out, and then realized I got in and start my training plans. And
Once Western States is over, what race are you going to tell your friends? This is what we're doing now, boys. This is the decision I'm making for us.
we've been talking about Fat Dog for years, so
Yeah.
hopefully that's going to come rotation in the next little while. Hurt 100 would be cool, but with it being in January in the lottery, it's hard to predict when you can actually go. And if you can't plan to go to Hawaii 6 months ahead of time, it's it's a tough race to plan on.
Oh,
I'd like to do something in Colorado too. The scenery just looks beautiful.
yes, absolutely.
That would be nice. How about Javelina? You guys want to party in the desert?
I've heard that one's a nice race. I've never done anything that far south, but I'd be interested. Like Zion looks beautiful in
Yeah.
it's like Utah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But we got to get Casey to Western first. So,
Yeah.
because I'm sure you're going to want some payback when you get to pace him.
Hey, we're going to be meeting Casey, right? We're going to be meeting Casey.
Yeah, he'll be there.
Yeah.
He's got a lot more stories than I do. He's done Vol State and he's done some crazy stuff too.
Finish things up with a rapid fire. If you're ready for some rapid fire questions.
Right, I'll do my best.
All right. Okay, Derek. So first thing that comes into your mind, there's no wrong answers. All right. 70s or 80s music?
70s.
70s. And you might notice I changed that from 80s to 90s because I recognize that we're, we may not be into the 90s music. I think I already know the answer to this. It's beer or wine.
Both, but if I had to have my choice, would be beer.
Okay. Do you have a tattoo?
No.
Would you consider
I'm
getting
definitely
one?
afraid of needles.
Oh, okay. All right.
Probably not.
Got it. Another sport you'd like to excel in?
I'd have to say golf.
Really?
Those sports that look easy, but you play it and it's so frustrating.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider doing triathlon at all?
I've done one sprint triathlon and the water was so shallow we were able to walk half of it, and I think I backstroked the rest. So I'm not a strong swimmer. And then I did a couple duathlons, and I don't know. I can't afford a $10,000 bike to.
Yeah. But don't get tricked. It's not the bike. It's the athlete on the bike.
Yeah, it's not the bike.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Earlier it would have been Star Trek, but now, my later age, it's Star Wars.
Oh, okay. What's the weirdest thing you eat in an ultra? Or crave?
Well, we call it pocket bacon because we just grab some bacon and put it in our pocket at the aid station, but not really that weird.
No. It's a Canadian
Maybe
way
a
to go.
McDonald's cheeseburger we've had.
Yes. I'm always careful about putting things in pockets because you never know what was in that pocket before, and it comes out with a lot of unrecognizable things. Okay, and pick a superpower. This is one of our favorites.
I'd have to say flying would be a pretty cool superpower to have.
That's a popular one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very
If there was
much.
the power to stop people from complaining, that would be good, but
Yeah, especially right now, eh?
could that be a
Everybody's
superpower?
Could be, sure.
I understand it. It's been a frustrating go, but we're going to get through it.
We are, absolutely. And we'll be stronger for it, I think.
Yes, I agree. So.
Well, thank you so much, Derek. It's been really nice chatting with you today. And
I know now I'm not going to do Hellbender.
Beautiful course, though.
yeah,
Imagine.
Yeah.
they usually all have that draw of some kind of beauty, and then you're regretting your decision about halfway through. But
Yeah.
well, we'll keep in touch for.
All right, appreciate it. Have yourself a great weekend, and looking forward to seeing you guys in Squaw Valley, if not before then.
All right.
Absolutely. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, Derek.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks to Casey, Derek has all this adventure.
I have a feeling there's going to be some serious Casey payback. Yeah, those are some tough races.
Well, he certainly had his ass kicked at Hellbender, but got through it.
That's right.
He did not give up, and he knew that Western States is gonna come no matter what.
Never lost sight on the goal.
Western States, here I come.
Well, we'll see you in 2022, Derek.
Yeah, and he's happy to be there, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a great time to meet them both. All right, cheers.
Bye.